Must destroy Underpants, they groaned. Must destroy Underpants. Suddenly, our three heroes were surrounded by evil, vicious zombie nerds. Closer and closer they came. Oh no, cried George. What do we do now? To the underwear cave, shouted Captain Underpants. There's no underwear cave, said Harold. Really? Said Captain Underpants. Well, let's just climb up that ladder instead. George and Harold and Captain Underpants.
Look, the flower's a zombie.
Oh my goodness, I didn't notice that. You were absolutely
Captain
right, Adam.
Underpants, watch out! The flower's a zombie!
Oh, true, I didn't notice that. Even the flower turned into a zombie.
Super Captain Underpants, he turned into a zombie!
Heads up for the zombie flower, right? George, Harold, and Captain Underpants scurried up the ladder, and soon they were all on the roof. Well, we're safe now, said Harold. No, Harold, you're not safe. Right?
Super Captain Underpants, look up!
Oh my goodness! Adam is absolutely right. There's a zombie flower right above our heads. Be careful, watch out. Yep, said George, that's for sure, said Captain
George and
Underpants.
Howard, look up too!
Oh my goodness! Careful! Run for your lives! Chapter 17. Oh yeah? It didn't take long before George, Harold, and Captain Underpants looked behind them. Hey, said Harold. What's that big spaceship thingy doing on the roof of the school? True. That big spaceship thingy must be a... What, Adam?
It was the space ace dude.
Yeah, true. It's the space dude's spaceship. It's a flying, looks like a flying saucer, doesn't it? And where did that super evil, rapidly growing dandelion come from?
I know what you can do to it.
It's actually a dandelion and it turned into a zombie
I
plant.
know what you can do to it.
What can we do against it?
You can cut it with the giant scissors.
Yeah, we should get a pair of giant scissors and just cut it off. George and Harold gasped. Ah! They looked at each other with the sudden panicked realization that only children who have accidentally created a giant mutated garden nuisance would know. Stammered George. We have no idea how that happened. Yeah, said Harold. Absolutely no idea at all. At that moment, the door to the roof swung open. Zorks poked his evil head out and shouted, We've got you now. You see that? That's Zorks down there.
Super Captain, I thought he was haunted.
No, he's not hurt. Seems to be up and about. With no place else to run, our three heroes quickly scurried up the ladder of the big spaceship thingy and closed the door behind them. You think they're safe now? Inside the spaceship, George, Harold, and Captain Underpants discovered a refrigerator filled with strange juices. Look, said George, here's a carton of anti-evil zombie nerd juice. How convenient. Oh, it's a juice against zombie nerds. So if the kids actually drink that juice, they will go back to normal. That's really good, isn't it, Adam? That's very convenient indeed. And look at this, said Harold. A carton of ultra nasty self-destruct juice. Now this could come in handy. And look what I've found, said Captain Underpants. A whole carton of extra strength superpower juice. Hey, give me that, said George, snapping the carton out of Captain Underpants' hands. Chapter 18. Space Captives. Suddenly, the door of the spaceship swung open. The three evil space guys slithered inside. Step away from the refrigerator, screamed Jennifer. Do you know who Jennifer is?
Hmm.
Jennifer is the one with the plaster on her head. Step away from the refrigerator, screamed Jennifer, and get into that jail cell. Oh my goodness, Jennifer wants to put him in a jail cell. George and Harold hid their juice carton behind their backs, and our three heroes stepped quickly into the jail cell. Let's see what the jail cell looks like. There it is, right inside the spaceship. Zork started up the engines, and the spaceship lifted off. It rose a few hundred feet in the air and hovered over the school. So they're up in the air.
Bubba, what's that?
Good question. Looks like two cubes, right? A yellow and a red cube.
Toads also have that.
Or they look like two dices, right? A yellow and a red
Toads
dice.
have that.
Mm-hmm.
Toads have that.
Who?
Toads also have
Cars.
that.
Yeah, they do. You're right. Zork started up the engines and the spaceship lifted off. It rose a few hundred feet in the air and hovered over the school. You three puny earthlings are very fortunate, said Jennifer. You will get to witness the destruction of your planet from the safety of your jail cell. Afterward, you will have the honor of being our obedient space captives. Oh man, said George and Harold. Quickly, Clax, said Jennifer. Get me a carton of super evil rapid growth juice from the refrigerator. We can pour it into our spray gun and shower it upon our evil zombie nerds. Oh no! They want to spray it. They want to spray the zombie nerds with that super evil rapid growth juice. Do you know why? They want to make them big so they can take over the world in no time. That's such a super evil plan. Alright, let's see. Chapter 19 The Big Switcheroo. Clax returned with a carton of super evil rapid growth juice and placed it on the control panel. Soon, said Jennifer, Earth will be ours. The three aliens threw back their heads and laughed and laughed. Suddenly, George got an idea. He whispered to Harold for a second or two.
Is that the white juice?
That's the juice to make things grow so big. It's called the Super Evil Rapid Growth Juice.
Is that the one?
That's the one, yeah. But listen. George whispered something to Harold for a second or two. Then he quietly reached through the bars of the jail cell and swiped Clax's carton of Super Evil Rapid Growth Juice. What are they planning to do with that?
They're gonna put the one that's good.
You think so?
Yeah.
George carefully peeled the label off the carton and stuck it over the label of his ultra nasty self-destruct juice. Oh, they want to switch them around. You see? While he was busy doing that, Harold reached through the bars and switched the labels of the spray gun and the fuel tank. Whoa, that's smart. Good thinking, George and Harold. Finally, George reached back through the bars and put his carton of ultra nasty self-destruct juice, which now read Super Evil Rapid Growth Juice, on the control panel.
Is that the good one?
No, that's the bad one. I don't get it, whispered Captain Underpants.
George!
Yeah?
That's also a bad one.
Well, they want them to they want them to destroy themselves, you know? They don't want them to grow big, because if they grow big, then they're gonna take over the world, right? So they switch the labels. So they think that the juice for growth. So they think that the juice for
Is that the good
destroying themselves is the one for growing. And so instead of growing, they're gonna destroy themselves. You know what I mean? They switched the labels. They put the label of the growing juice on the self-destruction juice, you know? So they drink it and...
Is that good juice?
Well, actually, neither of them is good. They're both bad because one destroys you and the other one makes you grow so big. And George and Harold and
That
Captain
one
Underpants.
makes you very big.
Yeah. But actually, that's the one that makes you... That's the one that destroys you, you know? So if you drink it, you actually destroy yourself. And that's what George and Harold and Captain Underpants want the three aliens to do. They want them to destroy themselves, not grow big. Because if they grow big, they'll take over the world. You know what I'm saying? So let's see if this is gonna work out. I don't get it, whispered Captain Underpants. The fuel tank now says spray gun, and the spray gun now says fuel tank, and the rapid growth juice has been replaced with self-destruct juice. What's it all mean? You'll find out, said Harold sadly. Now let's see what's gonna happen next after they switch those labels. George carefully peeled the label off. No, we already read this. So the next one. So what's gonna happen next? When the three evil space guys had finished laughing triumphantly, Jennifer reached for the carton that read Super Evil Rapid Growth Juice and poured it into the nozzle that read Spray Gun. See? And she wants to spray all those zombie nerds kids with that liquid thinking it's gonna make them grow big. But it's not gonna make them grow big. It's gonna destroy them, and you know what that means? If she destroys those zombie nerds, they're gonna go back to...
Normal.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Stop, 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 stop. Oh, I get it, said Captain Underpants. That space guy didn't pour growth juice into the spray gun. He poured self-destruct juice into the fuel tank. Yep, George said sadly. And that means this spaceship thingy is going to
That's not fuel
explode
tank.
into millions of
That's
pieces.
not fuel tank.
Right, Harold, said
That's
Harold
not fuel
gloomily.
tank.
Stop hitting the
That's not
tablet
fuel
with your
tank.
foot because it's
That's not fuel tank.
shaking.
That's not fuel tank.
What?
That's not the fuel tank.
That's the fuel tank.
Oh.
Adam, stop with your leg, okay? The spaceship began to sputter and shake as smoke billowed out of the control panels. Soon, sparks were flying and ceiling tiles were falling. Captain Underpants smiled proudly because he had figured out George's plan, but his smile didn't last long. Hey, he cried, we're in the spaceship thingy. What's gonna happen to us? We had to sacrifice ourselves to save the world, said George. I'm afraid we're not going to make it. Of course we'll make it, cried Captain Underpants. We've got wedgie power on our side. Remember wedgie power? Do you still remember what that means? Captain Underpants grabbed a roll of toilet paper from the jail cell lavatory.
But, Captain Underpants,
Yeah.
the fire's gonna burn it.
Oh, true. There's fire all around us. We can swing to safety on this, he said. You can't swing on toilet paper, said Harold. Sure I can, said Captain Underpants. I just did it in my last comic book. Well, let's see how he's going to swing to safety using toilet paper. Captain Underpants opened the jail cell window and tossed the toilet paper into a tall tree below them. Come on, fellas, he said. Let's swing out of here before this spaceship explodes. Oh, that's his plan. They want to swing out of there before the spaceship goes.
Kaboom.
Yeah, you got it. That toilet paper won't hold you, said George. It's not strong enough. But George's got a point. Toilet paper is not strong enough to hold you, right? It's gonna tear apart. Sure it is, said Captain Underpants. It's 2-ply. Oh, it's 2-ply, okay. As if that's gonna help, really. Well, let's see. Splat! George and Harold grabbed Captain Underpants' cape. Don't jump, they cried. But Captain Underpants wouldn't listen. He jumped out the window with George and Harold still clinging to his cape. Ah! They screamed as they fell to the ground and were killed instantly. What? They were killed? So they died? Just kidding. They didn't die. Of course, the toilet paper could not support the weight of our three heroes, and for a moment it looked like they were doomed. Kaboom! That's the explosion from the spaceship. But suddenly Captain Underpants' red polyester cape opened up like a parachute. Whoop! George, Harold, and the waistband warrior floated down safely as the spaceship above them exploded. It went
Kaboom!
Hallelujah! Cried Harold. We're not gonna die. We're not gonna die. Alright, that's enough for today, no?
No.
More?
Yeah.
Alright. Oh my goodness, I didn't see this coming. What's happening?
The flowers will be eaten.
Yeah, look, they're falling right into the flowers, the giant flower's mouth. Or, said George, maybe we are gonna die. How are they gonna avoid this now?
Look!
Oh my goodness, Captain Underpants is in the flower's big mouth. Chapter 21. The deliriously dangerous death-defying dandelion of doom. George, Harold, and Captain Underpants floated downward, directly into the waiting jaws of the dandelion of doom. Oh man, cried Harold. We could have gotten killed in a cool exploding spaceship, but instead we're gonna get eaten by a dandelion. How humiliating. Yeah, George moaned. People are going to be giggling at our funerals. The dandelion munched Captain Underpants and swung George and Harold around like a couple of rag dolls. Oh my goodness, look. Captain Underpants must be in terrible pain now. Can you imagine that? The two boys flew off and landed on the roof of the school. Help me! Screamed Captain Underpants as the dandelion of doom swung him back and forth. What should we do? Cried Harold. I've got an idea, said George. It's a bad idea, and I know we're going to regret it, but we gotta act fast. The fate of the
I
entire
know.
planet is on our hands.
You gotta put it inside the zombie eat flower, and then they will turn back into a normal flower.
Yeah, they gotta pour some of that juice into her mouth, right? Let's see. Let's see if that's what they're thinking about. Oh no, they poured they poured the juice. Well, what kind of juice? Which juice is that? The extra strength. The extra strength juice to make him strong enough to, set himself free from that giant dandelion. The next time the giant evil dandelion lurched towards the boys, George poured some extra strength superpower juice into Captain Underpants' mouth.
Faint?
What do you think is going to happen now? Asked Harold. I don't know, said George. What?
He's going to be strong.
It's going to be strong?
Yeah, George and Harold.
Let's see. But I have a feeling it's gonna involve incredibly graphic violence.